This message is produced by truthfromgod.com, which is one of hundreds of messages that can be read, heard, and watched at truthfromgod.com. The Plunder of America, published in the Battle Axe, issue 115, August 1977. Have gained such control of our nation that they are divesting it of all its wealth and power. Case in point, the present Panama Canal question. America spent hundreds of millions of dollars in building this vital shipping route. Nothing was spared, not even lives, in order to perform this task. It was this nation's technology that made it possible to carve the canal across the wilderness isthmus, which cut thousands of miles off the east-west ocean passage. Now it seems that a few whatnots in Panama are demanding that the canal is their rightful possession. They neither built it nor paid for it, and yet they arrogantly claim ownership. The that have captured control of our government are interested in only one thing: destroying the wealth and power of the strongest nation in the world. They are reducing our people to a populace of slaves forced to inhabit a depleted desolation. In order to accomplish this, they are setting up weak, spineless vermin as the political leaders in government. After destroying the pride and winning heritage of the United States Armed Forces in Korea and Vietnam no-win wars, the plan was not only to divest America of its external power and possessions, but also along with a severe national resource shortage. Money barons are stripping our land of all its wealth. An example of this is the who are sucking out America's oil reserves and shipping them abroad to communist countries. This practice went on even during the supposed energy crisis. For the last century, America's wealth has been funneled into the communist cause. It was American money, $20 million, that financed the revolution in Russia. It was manpower from this nation, 300 armed mercenaries, that was the incendiary which fired that Russian revolution. In case you are just waking up to the facts, communism is... Karl Marx, the author of the Communist Manifesto, was the son of a... throughout the world boasted of this fact. Said, some call it Marxism, but I call it... After the Second World War, the Jews have not widely advertised this fact since the American people began to realize the truth about communism. To prove that we are under control in this country, all that is necessary is a brief account of recent history. America has fought 2 world wars against Europe on the side of anti-Christ communism. We have continuously fit it, fought for it, and financed it. It's no wonder that it has flourished. We destroyed its strongest natural enemy, Nazism, in World War II, and turned over a war-ravaged, defenseless Europe to those communist bloody butchers. Since America has been successfully used to destroy in the rest of the world, our nation is the only power left that could possibly rise up against this shit. This alien culture destroyer knows that the instant the American people learn of the gross sham which has been put over on them, a revolution will sweep this land clean of their poisonous presence. Therefore, they're busily dismantling the might of America through a defeatist foreign policy and a decadent internal policy. Through internal crises such as economic depressions, these aliens in the rest of the world will treat us with utter contempt, which will add the right climate of national fear and frustration within our land. The believe that in this hour of desperation, America will embrace communism rather than attempt to fight a bloody revolution. Have you noticed by now that the propaganda of World War II was all a bunch of lies? We were supposedly fighting to make the world safe for democracy. And yet, no one ever stopped to think that our ally Russia was anything but a democracy. American forces were going to liberate Europe from the oppressive control of a non-democratic power. Instead, we almost completely destroyed Europe and turned it over to Russian occupational forces that built walls and fences across it. It should also be noted that America did not enter the war until Russia stood on the brink of defeat. Anytime communist Russia gets into trouble, America comes running to its aid. It seems that our people never learn, and today are helping the communist forces in South Africa and Rhodesia destroy still more. Economic policies are already being implemented to strangle these two governments. America is refusing trade with them and is even going so far as buying chromium from Russia at 3 times the price and for an inferior quality than what could be bought from Rhodesia. America's been ripped off coming and going, and has been the tool of barbarians in order to destroy all nations. Now the alien destroyers are effectively working on this tool to make sure it does not become their Frankenstein monster. They have convinced the Carter cortege to give away everything, even the Panama Canal, all in the name of peace. But the more correct term instead of peace is fear. Realize what is happening and work with us in reversing the planned dissolution that is stripping our nation of its internal-external validity. Instead of being the fool in destroying nations, we must evict all control and build America into the mighty vanguard of the West. From our skies must shine the guiding light for the future of the West. The sun must not set upon the for it will never rise to brilliance upon any other. The hope of the future rests upon your shoulders. Our nation, even though presently in control, is the last one that can possibly stand against and turn the tide of the onslaught upon the world. The present plan of weakening America must be stopped now. There is no time left for delay and no middle ground to walk. You are either working for resolving the control of America or for the destruction of. You must begin today to build with us a new powerful movement that will bring unity to the nations and make our nation the most brilliant light in the galaxy of stars. This message is produced by truthfromgod.com, which is one of hundreds of messages that can be read, heard, and watched at truthfromgod.com.